It is mock draft season in the NFL, and that means virtually everyone under the sun is going to be coming out with a mock draft stating who the Bucs should take at number 1. You're going to hear from everyone from Mel Kiper to Todd McShay, Daniel Jeremiah, Bucky Brooks. I even think that PFT Commenter is coming out with a mock draft. And most recently, McShay came out with a mock draft saying that the Bucs are going to be taking Jameis Winston at number 1. Meanwhile, former Bucs GM Mark Dominik has come out saying that he wouldn't take Winston in that spot, and instead, he would take Marcus Mariota. So what's to make of all this? Since so many of you guys have asked me on social media what's to make of all this information, I wanted to give you some guidelines that'll hopefully help you out in this process leading up to the draft. First and foremost, coaches, I'd be really surprised if they actually knew who the team was going to take at this point in time. They've spent all of their NFL seasons focused on their own teams rather than these college players. That's up to the scouting department. And during the college season, these scouts, area scouts, national scouts, they're busy acquiring as much information as they possibly can to bring back to the team. And then they meet together and rank some of these guys, and then they also meet with the coaching staff to brief them before they head off to the combine. So up until that point, the coaches really don't have a clear idea of these guys' abilities. Because neither player performed in the Senior Bowl, it's going to be crucial that both guys put a good foot forward when it comes to their on-the-field workouts, but also to their interviews. Aside from just performing at the scouting combine, these guys need to get in these meeting rooms, and coaches need to find out who they are, both on and off the field, how much information they can retain, and also their capacity to learn. And that's going to be really crucial with Mariota because so many people have said that he's this system quarterback. He doesn't have to make these NFL reads. And because of that, he is a product of a system. So he's going to have to overcome that. And I would also say this. Just because a player doesn't perform in a pro-style offense, isn't asked to execute NFL-level throws, it doesn't mean he's not capable of doing them. Never underestimate a guy's capacity to learn, because we all have to start somewhere, including NFL quarterbacks, even ones that are drafted first overall. Second, I would also say that despite the fact that these guys that are making these mock drafts, sure, they've got a high level of expertise, but folks within these teams, they don't read those mock drafts. So just because Todd McShay rates a player here or Daniel Jeremiah rates a player here, it doesn't mean that the teams feel that way as well. So it could be quite different. And the same thing goes for the Bill Polians and the Mark Dominiks. In Dominik's case, one of the knocks on him when he was with the Bucs was the fact that he would bring in some great players, but they weren't exactly fits for the systems in which his players played in. Plus, he had an opportunity to draft a franchise quarterback in Josh Freeman, and Freeman wasn't even with the team this past year, and you saw the way that whole thing ended. I would also say this. Look at where he drafted Mark Barron when he had a shot at Luke Kuechly, and you saw the way that turned out. I also can't emphasize enough just how important it is to put these guys through individual workouts. This is an opportunity for an offensive coordinator and a quarterback's coach to coach these guys up, give them instruction, and to see how these players take to it. But my advice throughout this whole process, it's window dressing season, so be very wary of tons of smoke screens. It's always filled with a lot of that, and nobody knows truly what's going on inside those meeting rooms except for the people that are actually inside taking part in them. With Sports Talk Florida, I'm Jenna Lane.